mean to Riebav. I'm kidding.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Riebav. Happy birthday to you.
He didn't show up. It's not in the chat. So disappointed. All right, fine. End the stream. All right, so a camera is mounting at 3,000 feet from the rocket at a launch pad. The camera needs a swivel as the rocket is launched to keep its focus. So this is actually a very good question. So this is 3,000. And this is 4,000. And due to the Pythagorean triplet, it's going to be 5,000. You don't need to use calculator to do this. Yes.
Will we get like a picture like that, or we're just gonna have words?
You are going to have words. You're not going to have draw. You're going to draw your own pictures.
Dang. Yeah, I like that picture. Sometimes the wording's like.
Okay, so Emil said it best. Like I'm gonna talk about what Emil says. It says dy dt here is equal to 800 feet per second, and so Emil said it best. Like, what is the constant in this case? The constant is the place that if you take a picture like 10 seconds earlier and 10 seconds later, the one distance does not change. It's going to be a constant. Can you imagine rockets going up? Between rocket and launch pad is moving. Can you imagine the camera and the launch pad distance is also increasing? So if you take two pictures, there's only one thing that doesn't change, is 3,000. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So for me, I'm going to call it, this is my besties. Okay, bestie need to be on bottom of the ratio, please. And there's a reason why. I'm going to explain to you the reason. But now we're going to solve for part A first. A is going to be x, no, not even x squared. It's going to be 3,000 squared plus y squared equal to z squared. If I take a derivative with respect to time, what will happen? It's going to be 2y dy dt, right? Equal to 2z dz dt, right? And that's the way it is. So we're going to plug in 2y. Y is equal to 4,000. And dy dt is going to be 800. Is equal to 2 times z. Z is what? 5,000. And the dz dt. And then I'm going to divide it over. So 2 cross it out. So it'll be 4,000 times 800 divided by 5,000. And guys, please don't use calculator. This can simplify. So that's equal to 3,200 over 5. That's equal to 640 feet per second. And that's it. It's not hard. And this could be one problem on your test. Got it? Pretty easy. You got it, Safia?
Yeah, that was a lot easier than I thought.
Yeah, because besties. Who's your bestie here? Where's Noman? Oh, we gotta see our shout out to Noman. No, I'm just kidding. We forgot about Noman. Who else Noman? Besides Noman? Tony. And Guile. Oh my god, there's a lot of people not here. Guile's here?
Yeah.
Oh. Hi Guile. We're still gonna give you a shout out though. Sign of data, if you think about it, we're gonna assign this as a H. Not H, so we're gonna assign as Z, and this is Y, and this is X. So in this case, sign of data is right here, and then it's gonna be Y over Z. If I take a derivative of this, it's just not pretty. Devin did it, and he did his derivative right. So if he did derivative d to the dt, and when he plugged in, it was a lot of issues. So be cosine theta d theta dt is equal to y, so low d high minus high d low over low low. Obviously, this is pretty bad. This is a bad option. Why? Because you have to know dy dt, you have to know dz dt, you have to divide it by z squared. You have to, it's just not a pretty side to plug in. And when he did that, it was very hard. And he can see he was here yesterday. It was struggling, and his mom is behind him and say, "Dude, just simplify the fraction before you multiply, man." So basically, that's what happened yesterday. Matter of fact, like I said, I just really want to point out Devin's mom stay here tutoring more than some of you guys, and she actually put more concentration on studying the topic than you guys are. Cosine data is going to be using a 3000 over z. Now, why this one is not a good one? I'm going to explain 2 reasons why this is not a good choice. It's fun. You're going to get the same answer. If you take a derivative of this, it's going to be negative sine theta and d theta dt. And it's equal to 3000. And you guys probably don't know how to take a derivative of this besides using chain rule. But don't use chain rule. Just move it to the top. Now, the problem with that, if you take a derivative, it's going to be z to the negative 2 dz dt. And that's a derivative. Now, here's a problem. It's the dz dt. You have to use dz dt. You got a dz dt from here. But the problem is, what if you did your calculation wrong? Which is you guys always do. So you're going to have carry on error. But you carry on the error, that's not the point. You want to use the one that is given. That is the best one to use. Why is using the one that's giving? Because look at the next one. We're going to use something called y over 3000 here. This is a great option. So this is the best option because constant, the bestie is on the bottom here. In order for you to do this, if you want to take a derivative, it's super easy as well. It has nothing to deal with negative signs. I'm going to show you. Rewrite this to 1 over 3000. Why? Then you don't have to do quotient rule. You should do something called constant multiple rule. Just think about derivative 2y is 2 dy dt. Derivative 1 over 3000, 1 over 3000 dy dt. So if I take a derivative of that, it's going to be secant square theta d theta dt is equal to 1 over 3000 dy dt. Are you lost? And what's good thing is dy dt is giving. See, this is giving from the problem. So it'll be 1 over 3000 times 800. And if I divide it by across, it's going to be 1 over secant square of theta because I divide by secant on both sides. I'm going to simplify 800 over that, so it'll be 8 over 30. And I'm going to change the secant to cosine square theta. And that's simplify 4 over 15 times 3000 over 5000. It turns out 1000 doesn't matter because they just cancel out. So that's equal to 4 over 15 times by 9 over 25. This cancel out 3 and 5. So that's 12 over 125. And what is 120? 12 over 125 is radian per second. What does radian per second mean? Well, 1 radian is equal to 57.3 degrees. So this is roughly 1/10 of that. So about 5.7 degrees per second. It sounds like very slow, but think about it. After 10 seconds, that's a 50-degree change. That's crazy. That's very, very fast, right? But the thing is, the rocket doesn't shoot straight up. It's actually shoot like this, right? To go into the orbit, I think. So at one point it's gonna go straight and then start gonna go in like this way on the sideway. It feels like the sideway, but maybe I'm wrong. Yes.
So let's say 3,000 was the constant for the y, and do you understand what I'm saying?
No.
Alright, so I'm gonna draw.
You cannot swap that because 3,000. It didn't say 3,000 height.
No, not, like for example, if 3,000 was the y and x was changing at 800, like for example, we could use a
So your camera is moving,
sure.
driving backwards.
Sure. Okay. But would we use coseek in there? Like we would use coseek. Right?
Possibly, because we don't know. How about this? I'll give you a question that you have to use different trig functions.
Yeah.
So besides those three options, there's other options as well. So I want you to try this question. I'm even gonna give you answers, and you guys are gonna help out each other. So this question, the answer is -3/500. Did you got -3/500? Anybody got -3/500?
Yeah.
Good. 2 people. You got it too? Good job, Sam.
It was crazy.
So I want you to try it. If you got 300, you got 3/500. You can help another person. If you need to get help, ask them to help you, which is Ron Garage, Sam, and Matthew. I don't know if Daniel got it. I don't know if Gaio got it. I don't know if Brandon got it. Yes. You got it? Okay, if you got it, you can try the next problem. So the next problem is going to be the revolving light one, question 13.
Oh yeah, I got that too. I put one number wrong. I got the whole thing.
What'd you get a final answer?
I got 4/5.
4/5 is correct. So I want you to try those 2 problems and see, really learn how to deal with angles. I like deal with angles. And if you really want a tough question, I can give you one. I think Matthew is ready for the tough question. Here. Oh, you're not supposed to use the wrong trig function. Here's the wrong trig function. Cosine doesn't make sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, question 88. Ask each other which trig function did you use first before you move on. Cosine's not the right one.
Okay. So give me 1 second.
Oh wait, no. The opposite of vertices. What is up? That's tangent. Yeah, I didn't mean that. I meant tangent. Sorry.
Like we did change it.
Everything else is constant and over 200. I think I just because I remember taking the derivative of that and hating that. I think I just wrote an S instead of a T.
You do
Cotangent, I think is right.
Yeah, I just wrote
Yeah.
S instead
But
of
derivative cotangent is negative. That's why you're missing a negative.
That's why. Okay, okay. Okay, I'll take that.
So you got X over 60, then X over 2. Maybe X over 3.
Fine. Sam, which question you need help?
7 over 5.
7. Which trig function did you use? I will use cotangent. Just because. Okay, so I'm gonna guide some of you guys through. So this one is the angle. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And this one is at the altitude is 100. The altitude is never changing. Does that make sense? And we have an x here, and we don't need a hypotenuse, so I don't even assign the thing. So which trig function I will use is the constants on the bottom. That's the one you had to think about. Then, does that make sense? So it has to be cotangent of the data, because if I use tangent, if you use tangent, you're still gonna get same answer, but it's gonna be much more complex. So it's gonna be at this, it's gonna be x over 100, I think. And I'll take derivative with respect to time. And then we're gonna try with tangents if it work out. It should work out as well, but we can try it afterwards. Okay.
Was it a negative 3 over 100%?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Then answer one question because I've seen it's like
Okay, there's a lot of mistakes still. I remember I talked to your mom before. I think you're pretty good. I think you're missing a small thing.
I need to start coming like after school. Like I can't come until next week.
Okay.
Then after I'm done with swimming.
Do you think you can come?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask your mom says that, whether you need a personal tutor to help you or come
Yeah.
after school to help you, and that's fine. I feel like you can do well in this class, and I feel like you have the strength to it. It just feel like it's a big transition from pre-calc to now, and also all the weight that you have from swimming and stuff like that. Same thing like Brandon does a lot of bands. Same thing a lot of people is doing. Ben has very heavy schedules. Gaio has swim just like you. So we just have to find a way after this doesn't settle. We need to find some way to go back and refix those things. I probably will still give you ways for you to even to do better on this. So even like do like a test correction on this retake, that's fine. But you gotta do your homework after the season's finished. Is that okay?
Yeah. I did all the homework from last week that I don't know, I just started getting like stressed out last week and then I didn't do a lot of it. But I did it this weekend.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna see. And if you need somebody to stop the bleeding to help you, and I talked to your mom, there are private people that you can go to, and I have those number you can call. But she did say you have strong-minded person. You don't usually want to get help. That's what she said. She said you have your own mind, and that's respectable. But when something that need to be fixed, and that's fixed first, and then worry about if you ruin your tutor in the future later. That's just get all the things fixed, and then you can start to understand things, and then you're not falling more behind. But that's my recommendation. But if you need it, just let me know. Here it's gonna be d theta dt here. 1/100. What's dx dt here? I think it's 3, right? And this one's gonna be negative sine squared theta. And that's equal to 3/100 times sine squared. So this one is, I think that's 200 at this moment. And this is gonna be square root of 5. I don't know how many zeros are they. 4 zeros? Okay, so in order to simplify this, you can take out 100. And that's gonna be 100 square root of 5. So this one is gonna be 100 square root of 5, and this is gonna be 100, and so this is gonna cancel out, I think. And this is negative sign, so that's equal to negative 3/500, and again that's radian per second, and that's how you get there. 11.
Can you explain the radical part one more time?
5,000. Oops, there's too many zeros.
Like why?
So this one is equal to 100 times 100 times 5. Does that make sense? So if you square root 100, you can, this part you can take it out. It's gonna be 100 square root 5. Does that make sense? Because square root 100 is square root 100 times 100 is 100.
Okay.
And that's how you get there. Does that make sense, Sam? Kyle?
No, let's say -3/.
500. Sam, does that make sense?
It will always be radians, right? If you make the negative sine squared, say 100/100.
Because 100 is here is the y over the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is 100 square root of 5 because that's a way to simplify it here. Yes.
It will always be in radians.
Always in radian, yes. In calculus, we only use radian, we don't use degree. So in the future, you want to have calculators, you cannot change your calculus set into degree. Otherwise, you're going to fail 2 question FRQ. Yep. You're going to use radians.
And then on the test, we will get like marked off those units.
Yep. but not a lot. But at least I need you to get the correct setup, get the things
Yeah.
righty. Ilya, you okay?
Yeah.
Brandon,
Yeah.
you got it?
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, how did it go from negative cosecant squared to negative sine?
Because I divided by both sides by negative cosecant square, but it's going to be on the denominator. But if you want to switch your top, just use a reciprocal identity because 1 over cosecant is sine.
I see.
Okay, there's one more here. The answer on this one's 4 over 5. So let's try and see if you go over 4 over 5. Now the best way to put a 0.5 is using the fraction, I think is the easiest way to use, 1/2. The last question will not be on the test, but the shadow question I give it to you is going to be street lamps. It's not going to be floor lamp. Floor lamp is different. Floor lamp is actually kind of confusing. So floor lamp is the way you shoot up the shadow to the world is actually interesting. The closer it gets, the larger the shadow is.
The closer you get to the floor lamp.
The bigger the shadow that you cast on the wall.
True. Behind you though.
Do you see what I'm saying? No?
I mean, wait, okay, you have a lamp on the floor.
Okay, try. Turn on your thing.
My flashlight. Oh.
Do you see how it works?
Yeah.
It's actually interesting.
That's really cool.
You didn't know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to see.
The question would be like the rate of change in the length of the shadow.
Yeah, so it's actually going closer, the taller it is. Going further, it's actually getting shorter.
Okay. It's a bit further than it's
Because
negative.
it's creating this angle, right?
It would be
So
negative.
this point is creating this angle here. So the more closer, the taller it is. It's actually different than the floor lamp. Different floor street lamp is different.
Because the tree lamp is like this.
just like, yeah, what's floor lamp? Like now it's keeping me floor.
Yeah, like what? Because the floor lamp is here, right? And then the street lamp is like
Yeah,
here. So the further it gets longer the farther away. And then, but this one's on the floor, so the farther away it gets shorter.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty crazy, right?
Right? Like,
They are simple things that you don't know.
Science.
No, it's creating an angle because the more closer, the taller the cast is going to be.
Then if they say getting further, then this is negative rate of change because it's getting shorter.
Yeah, so you had to figure out what happened here in details, but it's actually a lot of times like people don't see those things.
Actually, rocket science.
No, it's just very basic, simple tuition that nobody see.
Not shadow stuff, but just like some of the questions. You know, people say this isn't rocket science. This is actually rocket.
Shooting rocket. So this is the answer for this one's 4 over 5. Did you have a correct trig ratio? Okay, figure out what is constant. Oh, I also understand the questions. So that if you go back, understand this question. So here's the things.
Problems so like you can draw out because I think that's literally gonna hurt me so bad. And it's just like imagining what it looks like.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, there's you gotta learn how to see the pictures. So there's a lighthouse. I don't know if you ever been to lighthouse before. I actually want to be into the lighthouse. I think that'll be a very cool sight to see. Now I feel like now I have to appreciate the lighthouse now.
It's really cool in St. Augustine. It's like right on like the beach, and it's like
Oh
really
yeah,
pretty.
in St. Augustine.
Yeah.
Okay.
There at night when it's like.
Some
Yeah,
people
that-
telling me that I gotta go to this place called the Spearing Island.
Mhm.
I don't know if you ever seen it. Addison told me that there was basically there was the Spearing Island is an island that the Thai had to go back to have the island to show up, and people usually ride a boat over there. And there was like a lot of like pretty cool. I kind of want to see it now. She said like there was people on a boat selling ice cream instead of ice cream cars, be ice cream boat. And yeah, now I was like, kind of this is cool. I kind of want to take my kids to see. I never knew like there's a place called the Spearing Island. Supposedly in New Smyrna Beach.
Yeah.
You had to ride a boat over there.
New Smyrna is a nice beach.
Is it?
Yeah, I've been there. But it's far.
Okay, so you gotta be careful of this question. The light is revolving, so the light is rotating at this 2 miles per minute. So it's gonna shoot like this. It's going this way. So the light's gonna casting. Light's going this way. Okay. So now here's a bad part to ask. This 0.5 miles straight shoreline. What does that mean? That means this is 0.5. Right? And what is 1 though? Is 1 here or 1 here? It's the top. Because it's the point to the closest vertical, closest perpendicular. So this is perpendicular, this is a 1. So therefore this is a 1, this is not 1. A lot of people thought this is a 1, but it's not. So now we should be able to form this angle and hopefully use the right trick identity. Which trick identity did you use? Okay. Tangent is good. Because this one is yeah, this one my iPad pen doesn't have. Yeah, constant 0.5. Yeah, my Apple pen doesn't die. So the answer is 4/5. Try it. You guys gotta try, learn how to deal with angles. But projectile is on the YouTube. All the questions on the YouTube.
The 2 miles per minute is the DX over the I-4, right? Like the one that's associated with the shoreline.
Huh?
The 2 miles per minute, it's the one that's associated with the shoreline, right? Or one, like the DX.
2 mile is DXDT, yeah. Where's Noman? She is? We gotta give a shout out to Noman. Safia, you wanna shout out to your group mates?
Yes.
Wait, am I still streaming? Oh, am I? I'm still streaming. Here, you wanna shout? I'll give you a big camera.
Show her this coffee creamer. Noman, this is for you.
You had to squat down. Yeah, there we go.
This is for you, Noman. Love you. I hope you feel better. Drink lots of coffee to feel better.